as an aggressor on the side of the Dianthian Empire against Amaranth in the wars of the past. Then turned traitor to the Empire itself, Helianth has since been stripped of its right to military power, and now is dependent on its highly defensible position sat upon a solitary hill in the center of a lone, sprawling green valley, the only flat land for hundreds of miles between the rugged stone-laden plains, high cliffs, skyward mountains, and rocky plateaus of the Blue Peaks. These features have given the region a reputation of being untraversable and impossible land. Welcome, travelers, to the Dragonleaf, the Teahouse where tales are told. I put up my back, so I got a pillow on my back, and that feels good, because we're here for D&D, god damn it, and we're not gonna not do that. If you like the content, leave a like in the tip jar, and subscribe to our weekly tales. Leave a comment in the suggestion box to tell us how well we did, or how well we did not. Thank you for listening. And without further ado, it's time to open up shop.
Oh,
Hello! I heard you were dancing.
Yeah, you know, it's my ritual before starting D&D is to do a little dance.
I figured you'd come in and you'd be like contorted in a weird thing.
Oh, I
like,
was
"Hi,
dancing
everyone."
like this at one point.
It's an advanced technique,
Yeah.
gotta say.
I love how
I'm
you
a
call it.
professional.
I love how you call it like a little dance, and you're over here doing like fucking aerobics like that. Like, is it like Richard Simmons? Isn't that the guy?
Oh yeah, I think that's something like that.
I thought you said Roblox. A little dance, but you're over here like fucking
Very
Roblox, and
different
I'm trying to
dancing.
dissect what that means.
Something like
Just
the
gotta do
robot,
the
but way
floss.
cooler.
Way cooler, is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Roblox is cool, right?
No.
Right, kids?
All the kids in the chat, yeah.
Isn't Roblox like low res Minecraft?
It's like-
it's a thing. It's too much to digest.
Roblox
It's
is
extorting young
it's a
game
whole
devs the
thing.
game.
Yeah, it's extortion. The game.
Yeah,
It's a whole, it's a simulator we didn't know we didn't need. I'll die on this hill, sure. Last time, the Deviants began their expedition of the 10th floor. Without their escape route of trick ropes at a moment's notice, they risk the trek beyond 5 and up to 10. The safety that awaits in Killian's home village. They find a strange garden of towering sunflowers and traverse a hidden pathway to discover an Enthian knight, the 5th Enthian knight Valor, the Ox Knight. After a decisive battle, the Ox is defeated, and the party looks towards the remainder of the garden. And now, we jump back in.
What, the 5th? I have the 1st.
First? Oh, I wasn't paying any attention. I didn't write
Oh.
this lore, guys. I just sent it off to some
It's your-
other
it's your
company, and they're
ghostwriter.
like, yeah, it took me 7 months to get it back. That's why I was just sweating the whole time. I wasn't working at all. Let me actually open it up. I do want to confirm that.
I don't know if it has any importance whatsoever. I know shit. I know nothing.
Guys, I don't have reasons for the things I do, so it's important that I don't get my own information correct.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually not in the name. Let me open up this further.
Dig deep. Deep lore.
I'm diving. He's the 1st Knight Valor, the Ox.
Aha! Good notes, Candace.
Good notes. GG. Everyone gets a point of inspiration.
Ooh.
Woo! I will take that.
Back in elementary school, we had a teacher who anytime he would intentionally put mistakes into the tests, and if we found them, we got a bonbon, which we then, as children, learned meant good, and that alone was very funny.
Just candy?
Yeah,
I
just a
mean,
candy.
I know it's good, but like they call it candy
Yeah, it's
good.
just a bonbon. Yeah, it's
Okay,
it's just a
cool.
little candy. I mean, it doesn't translate to be that.
GG.
It
Didn't
does, but
we
it doesn't.
talk about give me that good last episode?
Oh,
We did, yes.
did.
I'm not going to let it
Dog
die.
Coming around.
I'm not going to let that die.
That's my new, like, GG now means good.
Yeah. You can also say GGG, which is good game. Or just keep adding G's, and it really just gets better from there on. Especially when
GGG,
someone
the OG.
you're playing D&D and you're like, God, that was a good fight. GGG. You just don't stop. People love it. People love it. So we begin. You all look onwards towards the defeated 1st Knight Valor, who lays, and as the ash flitters away, the massive hulking body of this kind of almost now centaurian, which I know isn't a word, but I'm making it one, beast just stands before you. The desiccated body racked with rot and plague. And you all sit. As the items land in your hands, you see the hammer that was wielded by the ox previously. And as you hold it in your hand, a passage comes to mind.
Oh.
This massive warhammer that was wielded by the Ox, the commander of the Enthian Knight's valor, is eternally coated in the blood of trusted friends. And a voice comes to mind. What have I done? No, it was not me. It was the song. Wait. The song. Curse you, you monster! You can actually hear the repeated blows of hammer against stone. Curse you! And then the voice fades into oblivion.
Ooh.
As it lands in Vincent's hand, because he got one of them too, it'll just like thunk down and he's holding the top of it. He'll look down at it and then he'll turn towards Paka. Paka, dear. You take this.
Yes. Paka runs over immediately and you see the top flap of his backpack open, which is open maybe once before. And as he grabs the bag and the hammer and just slowly begins to feed it into the top of the bag, you actually hear faint slurping sounds.
Oh.
Paka,
The bag.
is your bag alive?
No. Is yours?
Are you
Should it be?
making slurping noises as you put things into it?
Roll perception.
Do I need to roll? 18.
He turns around and he raises his snout so it's vertical. And he's like, no. And he turns his head away and moves. You can tell that he has been slurping in the items just about every time.
Sure.
This is the most valuable roll I've had you do yet.
Chewing
you
and
just
slurping
don't know
noises
it.
are something Vincent has to take note of, so I just needed to make sure.
Paka then begins to circle.
Could I go up to this statue and see if it says any stuff on it?
You may. Are you guys paused? Here you go. I'll give you
A little
free
bit,
reign.
Yeah. Woo! I walk.
I walk. As you move over towards the statue, you look upon its engraving. You can see that it has been incredibly heavily damaged, obviously by the repeated blows against it. But
Partly by me, as I catapulted the head towards the knight.
At current, it is virtually illegible due to those repeated blows. However, there is a few individual elements that are written in that foreign language.
Hey, Matilda? Can you read this?
Let me try.
By the way, mending would take these engravings away or make them better.
So this one is carved in. If you were to paint something on a stone, mending would bring that back. If you are to carve something in, that is literally damaging the stone, and it would remove the engravings. Yeah.
Tight.
Although it is, you also know that it's like 1 foot specifically. So if you were just like, I'll do over here and then over here and see if I can do anything about it. But that's a specific scenario that doesn't seem like it would work in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Are we able to stay here for 10 minutes? I can cast comprehend languages.
Are we still deafened?
You are. Well, unless you take your earplugs out.
I think I'd leave them in. We don't actually know where the source of the Song of War is coming from.
So if Vincent is cool with it, we can also say so long as Vincent was within range and sightline of people, you guys can just freely communicate.
Okay,
Because you
awesome.
do have the means.
Just pretend everything has a little extra sass to it. You feel nice afterwards.
And Vincent, if you ever want to begin to censor
Add some
people's
flavor.
yeah, you can absolutely just be like, she says she hates you, and I don't get it. I don't personally get it, but she called you an elf. That's weird, isn't it?
Knife ears.
Holy shit. Yeah, you can stay 10 minutes. I'm fine with that.
So then Matilda starts casting comprehend languages. And I like to think like the shing happens. That usually happens when she casts hex, but then a bunch of like letters and like different language symbols circle around her head. Like, you know, if
Like
somebody's
the
like
math meme.
kind of, but like it's like you know when in cartoons somebody used to get bonked on the head and then like little like little birdies would float around, but this time it's like a vortex of like words and language and symbols.
That's it.
And then
As Matilda's doing that, Vincent's gonna try to investigate over here. He can see a hole. I just want to see if using this time to open the hole would be usable.
once
The hole was
10
previously noted by Bladebeak, who then at that point basically siphons over here and begins to point it out similarly to last time.
Once the 10 minutes is up, it coalesces into like a weird little like halo behind her head, and then she
Ooh.
can read the language. But yeah, that's it.
Hell yeah.
I like that a lot. You also hear faint bits of whispers, not of the language specifically, but almost just of like these divine voices that begin to just usher in little phrases to you, completely inaudible to everybody else. Is this halo something that is visible?
Well, comprehend languages is instantaneous and doesn't require concentration.
Well, it's a ritual, so that's why I'm kind of giving it a bit of flavor because I'm ritual casting it.
I think he's
Sick.
insinuating after the ritual's done, does it go away?
I don't think
Okay.
comprehend languages would otherwise have anything visible during concentration, but we do value concentration as something being visible, so I like to think this halo is maybe just
Sure.
barely
I
there.
like to
But
think
just to
that it's still
confirm,
there.
comprehend language is not a concentration spell.
Oh, you're
Yes.
right. So then it would not be visible after the fact. But it's there, one way or the other.
For mine, we could say it is. I like the flavor that it is.
Okay. I also think it's just people are just like, she has a halo, kill her. Doesn't make too much sense. As you sit down and you begin to read over the stone before you, you can see that in its initial state, you can see that it reads still heavily damaged, but you have little bits. King, and then just passage that is illegible. Lodum, and then passage that is illegible, and then rain. Looking over the stone itself, it's just broken into large chunks.
Is it
Go
rain
ahead and
as in
roll.
raining monarch or?
Yeah,
I just-
REIGN. REIGN.
Correct. I just threw it in the chat as well. But
Thank you.
looking over it, anybody who believes, does anyone have Smith's tools proficiency?
I'm sure Killian does.
Killian does.
I will always ask. As Killian looks over the individual block, looking at it, Killian thinks that she could probably mend this. Not with any kind of magical aid, but actually utilizing the Smith's tools within the pack. Killian pulls out the pack and begins to go to work.
Thanks, Killian.
And then,
Would you like me to roll it?
please and thank you. So this will just be your choice. You can try and do this quickly with dexterity, or you can try and use Constitution to get it done over a period of time.
We're not in a huge rush, right? If we take a short rest, I can get a spell back.
Same.
It has been 10. So we can add that in. You guys would just need a little less than an hour. 17. Killian begins to go about mending the stone, and utilizing the tools at her disposal, manages to make the passage legible enough, Matilda, that you can get the full passage from it. It reads, Lord King Senadan of Lodum, long may he reign.
I do make a note of taking down, like, the writing it in common, but then also writing the symbols and letters of the Dungeonese. I can, it just helped with my comprehension.
Just for future knowledge, Adrian, repairing statues has usually been masonry tools, not smithing tools. Is that something that...
Oh,
will
I don't know why I
change?
said smithing tools. One way or the other, Killian does have
Does not have
Mason's tools proficiency. No, but Killian does have the capability of applying themselves to the
Yes.
all-purpose tool. So one way or the other, that is still good.
What's the other? The other sign read, "All hail King Savalar." Savalar. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Savalar.
Savalar,
Yes,
King of Mirrors, Lord of Madness.
we need to go somewhere to look at the genealogy and family trees of the royal families in the area, because there might be a gap in history that's missing, but they're really weird about making sure that stuff is kept really recorded. Would it be safe to assume that my party members told me the stuff that they heard from the weapons?
Yes.
If you guys don't mind, could I have a look in this area just to make sure there's no, individual waiting to sneak up on us?
Sure.
During this time, was Bladebeak able to pry open the wall?
You don't have blade beaks, so let me go ahead and do that. Over the course of time, it's totally doable, basically. Bladebeak just begins to pry it apart. Once again, using the magical head jack.
Vincent will peek around the corner and toss a stone.
You see a small, what seems like a cache that has been recently placed here. Judging by the symbol of the crowned tree frog, you discern this to be some kind of Lodumnian army cache that has been placed within this location.
Okay. He'll throw a couple stones to check for the flower assassins, and then have a look-see at it, walk up to it.
You throw the stones, you do not notice any assassin vines that are within this location.
Okay. Looking over the cache, is it just what it shows here, like a sack of potatoes in a chest?
As you open up the sack, it contains you can see that there's a small cache of weaponry, some loose items. You can see that they seem like they're not custom made or anything special. They're definitely just standard order. You gain 4 mid-value goods, 2 high-value goods. So I'll be placing these in your guys' goods that you're carrying.
Okay.
So that's 4 low. Oh, let me actually double check. 4 mid and 2 high.
Let me know if you guys can hear my clacking of keyboard.
No.
I heard a little bit of a clack, but it's all good. So you guys are generally aware, goods can be withdrawn for generic items, but they are basically they are at current, whatever might be needed. So anything mid-value good, anything within 26 to 100 gold pieces, including things like greatswords, bows, crossbows, most martial melee weapons, and high-value goods are within 100 and 500 gold pieces, which can include things like breastplate armor. So it can be somewhat valuable. These goods are good. As you were looking over them, Vincent, you can see that these would sell for a fair chunk of money.
Interesting. That's good.
But not only that, you also find 2 potions of greater healing.
Ooh.
Nice.
Vincent pockets one of those.
You find 2 potions of fire resistance.
Doesn't pocket those, doesn't need them.
And you find 8 beads of nourishment. The potions you know to be fire resistance only because they are marked as fire resistance.
Not knowing how to spell nourishment. All okay.
It would be fun if the English language had a unified pronunciation. You find 2 beads of nourishment. And everyone's like, yes, I know exactly how to spell that.
In your heads, we have an extra potion here in fire potions. Does anyone want any?
I'm sort of fire resistant because I'm still attuned to the scythe, but I'm thinking I might switch that to this warhammer. So I could take one of those.
Okay. Paka runs over and gives her one. Matilda, do you want anything?
I'll hold on to the fire resistance one, but if Killy and I can have a conversation later, because she did fall in lava once, so it might make more sense if she has it.
I guess keep it, and if you need to use it, use it.
Yes.
Paka runs up to Killian and says, "You're prone to lava."
I feel like Killian looks at her feet and then looks back up. And then the greater health potion, the other one, just keep it on Paka for now?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's good
Gotcha.
by me.
Yeah, lava's not her favorite terrain.
Gonna multi-class into ranger just so she can get that.
Just so I can make that joke officially.
Also, did Mo, does he have a little backpack on him?
Mo does have his little backpack.
Oh my goodness. So
I will pass him over my normal healing potion, the one I had left. Now that I have a greater one, and instruct him to put that in the bag and to not touch it unless he either goes unconscious and to use it on Vincent, or Vincent tells him to do something with it.
I'm not sure if you've noticed recently, but I'm not very good at remembering things. So I trust that you will do that.
I will remember and just let you know when I wish to use it, but I just wanted to establish.
Thank you, my
Speaking of that,
my illustrious co-DMs.
can I ask? Were you joking earlier about getting an inspiration, or because I didn't?
No,
put
I
them
wasn't.
down?
At all.
Okay,
I was
cool,
not.
cool, cool.
You can't joke around with that stuff, man.
I was waiting for you to be like, just kidding, take it away, but
5 second
I
rule.
didn't hear that. So okay, cool.
Honestly, the closer I get to 5 seconds before rescinding inspiration, the crueler I am for the day. So you will just have to recall that scale.
Okay, cool.
Be inspired. Be inspired, young
were
lambs.
we allowed to take that short rest?
You guys are sitting down. You are taking a short rest, yes?
Yeah.
Which one of you is going to be on watch for these? Mo? Or Bladebeak, the Eternal
Blade
Sentinel?
Beak?
I think Bladebeak can do it a bit. Yeah, I guess Vincent can't be on watch and rest at the same time.
Oh, doesn't need a rest.
Mo didn't get hit, I don't think.
Paka also wasn't in that fight. Paka can take a look.
Also, Vincent will, during the short rest, just kind of like start practicing his piano again. And this time he'll take, for his song of rest, do people need to hear it?
I would only assume.
Read
Else
this.
it would just be every bard is always giving
Beginning
everyone a
at second
song.
level,
rest.
you can use soothing music or oration to help alleviate
Oration.
your wound.
Ooh.
Oration.
You sit down and you say, "My friends, were before me today," and then you kind of just keep going from there.
I'll just
I am full, just with my one hit die.
yeah.
So-
I will soothe myself. My own.
With your earbuds.
I was actually impressed. I didn't take any damage that fight.
Yeah, that was a sick end.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Matilda. You did it. Number one.
You did it. You did it.
Hello, how are you all? I'm just
hi.
going to mark all these things off. I can't do it though, so it's not working. Here's what I'm going to say. As you guys continue your short rest, Bladebeak, the Eternal Sentinel, begins to move about the area, but remains within this kind of constant sentry watch. After your short rest, basically an hour in, you got like 20 seconds left of your short rest. Bladebeak, you hear boop, boop, boop. Bladebeak returns, turns their head towards the entrance, and you begin to hear shuffling moving down the pathway.
Oh, okay.
Does that mean
Oh,
we
could I-
don't short rest?
You have 20 seconds left.
Hold
What
them
do
off,
you do?
Bladebeak.
Bladebeak nods and turns. Here's how this is going to work. Everybody roll initiative. Everybody but Bladebeak is surprised. You're basically... Well, actually, no. You will not be surprised, however. If you take your first turn in combat, you forego your short rest. Now, this music...
That is cool. Well, would you looky there?
What I like the most about my friends is that they never use sarcasm. That was cool, I agree. Here's what I'm going to do. Excellent, and the enemies begin their turns first. You begin to hear marching turn to immediate movement, as several heavily armored individuals begin to move into position.
Could I have gotten into a position if I knew this at the very least?
Yeah, you guys can move within your current location, absolutely.
Okay.
It is Killian's turn. Do you guys... what do you do? I will also remind you that there is a somewhat hidden nook back here.
Oh, you're
Bladebeak
right.
has straight up destroyed this trellis. There is not like a method of putting it back in place. It's broken.
Yeah.
But you guys do know that that place is outside of line of sight.
I
if you
was.
so choose.
Is even moving make it so that we don't have a long rest?
You guys have the option right now before combat starts, because you had 20 seconds to move
okay.
about the area, so you can freely choose a location within this area to be.
Ooh. I'll just stay sitting here. I think we shouldn't actually have. I was joking when I was like, hold them off, Bladebeak. I don't
Bladebeak
know if we
immediately
will.
ran forward.
Okay, great, good. Love it.
I think Killian would probably just kind of go over next to Paka and just like knowing that she still needs a little bit of a rest, she'll just stay behind, like, Paka and just kind of wait and observe. That'll be her turn.
You look over to Paka, and he has a small vial in hand, and he's like pouring liquid over a small dagger, and he looks over towards you and just big smile. Fucking sparkles behind him, beaming with pride as he is slowly poisoning a dagger.
Okay.
Killian moves over, shuffles over. Nothing super extensive, so you are good. Vincent, your turn.
We have to use our action to do nothing, right? Like she couldn't hold an action.
No, you would have to do nothing. If you're engaging in combat, then you forego your long rest or short rest.
Okay. She is not doing anything.
Okay, Vincent, your turn.
Vincent's going to. He'll take a step over here. It's coming from here, right? Like down this way?
That is the only possible way as far as you're aware.
Okay. Yeah, I think he'll stay there and just kind of observe.
Mo moves over here and begins to hide along the back and goes invisible. Bladebeak's turn. Bladebeak moves into position in the corner, and actually no, stays right here. Moves back 5 feet and begins to bar passage. Pulling back and beginning to open siege. You hear the sound of the arcane buzzsaw within Bladebeak's mouth go wild and begins to rake across metal armor. What is the damage on Bladebeak?
Oh, these were the 3 dudes that we didn't physically kill, so they came back after a short rest.
Just here.
Oh, I see.
Should've just gone over there and stabbed them for good measure.
Matilda, you're up.
Oh, well, Age, there should only be 2 of them then.
They were crushed by Killian, and then Killian went back to the party and was like, yo, guys, this is wild.
I know, but on our way through, Jojo just stabbed one for safety.
Roll damage.
Oh.
It's an automatic critical because you hit.
I don't know what to. I stabbed them with my javelin, I think.
Yeah.
Which I believe is a D.
It's a D6.
Yeah. I wanted to say D6.
I'll roll. You said it's an automatic critical?
Mm-hmm.
You hit, yeah.
Well then. Oh, it's the math.
Just do a roll and hit crit damage.
Yeah, I'll just attack myself. Attack. Can I just do the damage without doing the attack or no?
I don't
I
think
have to
so.
roll.
You have to wait.
Well, I'll just do a normal.
Then the damage prompt will come up and then
It's asking me if I want to do feather fall.
And then I feather fall myself. Ooh,
That's
27 hit.
21.
21 damage? Okay.
brutal critical.
I rolled a 2 and I got 21.
Max crit damage plus brutal critical equals fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are great. Excellent.
Isn't that 42 damage?
No, that's
No,
already.
this is right.
Yeah, 21
already
is with
doubled.
the additional bonus, yeah.
With
We do
everything.
max crit. So, as Matilda, it is your turn.
So, are we aware that these people are coming?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
For the most part, we were alerted, yeah.
I like to think that Matilda was like busy writing notes and she wasn't quite done, so she was deciding like, okay, I'll finish this quickly before they come. So she decides to stay where she is in front of the statue.
I have 14 seconds of notes left, you bastards. I'll never forgive you. Jojo, you're up.
Jojo is going to sit there. She's doing an arcane recovery, so it's sort of just, and she's also attuning to. Can I do both at the same time? Can I do arcane recovery and attune to the warhammer at the same time? So she's sitting there with the warhammer across her knees.
Arcane recovery is just something that happens
So hard
for
to
wizards
tell
during a
being
short rest.
serious.
Let me actually check arcane recovery because it does state in order to attune to an item, you must spend your time with that item doing nothing other than training with it, practicing with it, attempting to understand it.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
but
let me check
arcane
arcane
recovery, I
recovery.
don't think says you have to do anything for it to trigger.
You have learned to regain some of your magical energy by studying your spell book.
Well.
Ha
Okay, well then I'll just do arcane recovery,
Really?
I guess. So instead of the warhammer across my legs, it'll just be my javelin. And she's sitting there, and I imagined her arcane recovery being more like meditative. Like you can physically see that there's like some energy getting absorbed into her, just sort of like motes sort of appearing and then like being absorbed into her ash bond.
I'm determining whether or not this would cause you to lose your short rest. I don't think I would consider this strenuous, and you're not currently engaging in the combat. This is
talking
It's
about
like during the
selfish.
short rest. The arcane recovery happens during a short rest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then
I'll have to do it during a short rest.
that's fine. Then.
Okay.
Oh,
I was
I'm
like,
sorry.
This
Is this
would
not-
break the game. If
Oh,
you
never
I don't
mind.
think so.
do
No,
that.
arcane recovery isn't done during a short rest.
Yes, it is.
Is it really?
Once per day when you
The
finish your
wizard.
short rest, you can choose to expend.
Ah, you have not finished the short rest.
You can choose expended spell slots to recover. Okay.
It
You
hasn't
got
recovered yet.
14 seconds left.
Well, I'm sitting there and I'm resting, and that's my turn.
Excellent. The soldiers move up, turn their attention towards Bladebeak. Taking out their spears. You can actually see a flash of golden light, and those of you who can see around the corner, you see these individual soldiers. The blades come in. First slash against Bladebeak.
Oh.
Makes contact. Bladebeak takes 4 damage from slashing and is ignited, lighting with golden flame. As the second blade comes in, it deflects off of Bladebeak's mithril beak and just bounds aside. Jojo, you had your hand raised.
So since it says it just happens at the end of a short rest, does that mean I can attune to the warhammer?
Yes.
Okay, yay! Everything's good.
The 2 soldiers continue their assault. You can see these just flaming spears beginning to unleash themselves. They move with almost undead-like movements, just lumbering as though controlled by something. Paka looks onwards towards these creatures and did not actually get his thing, so he's going to take 2 steps forward and is just going to throw a dagger. Bounces off the armor of the individual, and Paka's like, well, that's all I got. And then moves off to the side. Killian's turn. And now you have finished your short rest. These enemies are screwed.
Yeah, I think she's going to kind of like look over at Bladebeak, look back at us, look at the enemy, level her gun and fire.
Come on.
Oh, she doesn't have anything in her inventory or attached. I'll fix that.
Also, for the sake of this combat, 1 round equals 20 seconds. Just this one time.
Everyone's being real slow.
Except for when calculating spells and other effects.
25,
25. That hits. Go and roll damage.
12.
12 damage. You level the gun and you level the enemy. They slam into the ground and bound back, hitting the back wall, but they don't.
I think she'll run forward. Notice kind of like the very bare minimum of the dude next to the dude just standing there. And she'll level her gun again and fire. Oh, shit. Ignore that.
Happily.
I accidentally rolled with advantage for reasons.
The first hit was yeah, that's fine. You can reroll. If we mess up, we just swap.
That's how we've always ruled it. So 17.
Kaboom. Go and roll damage.
9.
9 damage. Ooh, not quite enough. I was wrong. You guys are done for.
And then she'll sit like go there and like look towards Bladebeak, give her the nod, and then Bladebeak will use his action to attack it.
Most excellent.
Bonus action command. Friend strike, which I can't do, so you will have to do, Adrian.
Bladebeak brings back, head cocks to the side, and begins to carve through the enemy and then through the wooden trellis to the left. And then with the damage, almost max damage. Carving through the side of the creature, it's just split directly in 2 and the body vivisects. As they all land on the ground before you, you see the ash flittering away above the trellises, and combat has ended.
Ooh, that was easy.
That it was.
Me.
In the back of everyone's head, Vince is just like, I think the leftovers are done. Should we get going?
Yeah, sure. So that lantern only works on ones that we actually killed and not just like when they're shone on?
Yes, I think it's anything
Oh.
we've killed within our radius.
Which one of you is holding the lantern, by the way?
That's a good
Um,
question.
I like to think it's attached to Paka's like little raincoat
Oh.
belt.
Oh, that's so cute. Also, actually, well, it's not, because it's like a wrought iron black twisted lantern of black flame and death, and
It
Paga's
looks
just
like-
boop, ba-doo.
It looks like a weird patenting bear lighthouse
Yeah.
keeper kind of deal.
He's getting kitted out with many random things.
Yeah, it's just, the stats were good, and I can't play fashion, like, through the entire game, so. It's got a wonderful raincoat and a black death lantern.
I'm assuming Paka will loot the stuff.
Paka's moving forward and collecting all the goodies.
In everyone's head, as we start walking back, Vincent will be like, well, that was a dead end, so what's the plan for getting past the little wind plates?
We
I think
gotta.
we just need to make a decision.
I have a question. Matilda, are you remaining at the statue to finish your notes, or are you going with the rest of the party?
I'm gonna go with the rest of the party.
Okay.
Do we need to split up? Like, it seems like the dungeon wants us to choose one of those panels, or we could just take turns. We could, two of us could like stand on the ones and then drop an item on the number twos, and then we could do the same thing again. Although we'd lose those items we throw, but seems like someone just used a sunflower before.
Let's continue the trend, I guess.
So who's going where? What are you doing? I can happily move.
I think Jojo's gonna go to the south, and
I'll go to the north.
not necessarily step on either one of them yet, but
Yeah.
prepare to.
A Mo will land on Vincent's shoulder, so like we become one creature.
If you say so.
So we're separating into two groups.
Yeah, but we're
Thanks.
gonna go on the same numbers, so we're all gonna go on the same direction. Are the ones heading north or south?
As you look, you see that the number 1 seems to be heading to the north, and the number 2 seems to be heading to the south.
North or south, guys?
I think number 1 works, whatever direction that's going in.
Number 1 is heading to the north. You guys did see
North.
when the stuff was carried away previously. You saw the location that each stone was carrying the items.
Oh, could I have taken the statue's head that had fallen off and used that as my heavy item?
Yeah.
Sick. I hold on to that and ready to.
Vincent casts mold earth and uproots a sunflower.
Which one?
This one.
Down right there. Okay.
I do think we
you
should
take-
separate us. Oh, sorry.
I'll just take one moment. As you reach your hand out and you begin to kind of just initiate this, the weave reverberates and the ground begins to lift itself up as you tear out the loose dirt underneath this sunflower. A hand comes with it.
Oh.
You see an arm carried underneath, carried by the roots of the sunflower itself, and you assume underneath each of these things, at the very least, is a body. As you
Wow.
unroot the sunflower, all of them immediately shrivel and die, and you hear the sound of stone breaking in the distance.
I can see Jojo a bit. I'll mentally connect with her. Actually, we didn't hear that because our ears are all plugged.
We feel
You
it.
did hear
we feel
that.
the bass.
It's nigh on
Oh.
impossible to not have heard.
Okay, so we still heard it through our deafening. We like felt it probably. I'll mentally connect with Jojo. I don't know what that was, but after I did the sunflower, it seemed to trigger. So there's dead bodies underneath the sunflowers. Anyways, let's go.
Giant monster. Probably.
Hey, Adrian, are the roots like inside the body and stuff? Like, is the sunflower getting nutrients from the dead body?
I'll ask this: are you in the north or the southern one? Are you with Vincent or are you with Jojo at current? That determines on whether you would have been able to see it.
Yeah, no, never mind then.
You can say you're with Vincent if you like.
Well, my thing is like, I want to know who has Featherfall so we can separate the group safely, so that we're not like, because you
Jojo
guys.
has Featherfall. Vincent has Featherfall just for himself.
Because I'm thinking that if we're gonna do this, we should probably not do it in separate groups, because if we get launched in the air and fall from really high, Shouldn't we be with someone that can, like...
Oh, you think 2 people on a thing at the same time?
Or at least the people that are gonna be, like, should go with JoJo or someone that can cast
If you, dear, if you want to go with JoJo because you think you're going to go splat, by all means, I've got myself covered.
Okay.
I think
Oh,
Killian...
All of us can fit on a single one, though. We might end up like Bladebeak and get torn in 2.
Yeah, the most likely scenario here is like Mo could definitely be on Vincent's shoulder. Paka could jump on JoJo. Killian can ride Bladebeak. So you guys can like make it fit, but 2 medium creatures couldn't like hop on each other to make this work.
Yeah. So I
And
think
then
we do need to separate.
That's fine. And then I think Paka should go with you.
Okay. Come on.
Paka
Is
jumps
Paka
on your
heavy?
back. He's incredibly heavy.
Wow. Okay,
You are
great.
probably the only person who could withstand this. As he jumps on your back, it is just like a fucking boulder has descended upon you.
I'm rucksacking. Okay, great. Did you check out that body? Are they bound? Are they an adventurer, or are they like a
Vincent
dungeon
digs up
person?
the ground a little more to see if it looks like a dungeon creature, or human, or if they look like they're a bound adventurer.
You like move over to the little sunflower pit and you look down in it. You can see that there's just scattered pieces of bodies, long since rotted, and pieces of armor that have been rusted to the ages.
To be honest,
well,
dear-
actually, not particularly rusted. They're actually somewhat still well maintained. It doesn't look like they were put here that long ago.
Vincent goes back.
Entian
then-
or Lodemnian?
From the armor, you can see that it is not actually of an order that you have seen yet. They hold this kind of like the armor's almost gold in color, but not gold in metal.
An unfortunate soul, dear. We should get going.
If I like, since I'm over, like, I'll be on Vincent's side then, and I'm looking, can I tell how long the body's been there by the level of decomp?
Yeah, go ahead and roll nature. Medicine, sorry.
It's paused.
You should be able to roll.
You can roll still, even though
Oh
it's
yeah,
paused.
okay.
You just can't move in the game.
On. Okay. Medicine. Normal. No idea.
Looking at it, it's just
It.
difficult. It's very difficult to determine. You can tell that it's not particularly old. Like they're not beyond a state where it's just skeletal or fully mummified. But there is still flesh here, and it is long since bad.
All I can tell is they weren't embalmed, or there wasn't anything done after they died. They were just buried. That's it.
Looking at all the shriveled sunflowers, do you guys think that this was all one creature?
I have no observations towards the vegetation around here. And he'll ask Matilda if she has any theories.
It could be all connected.
She says maybe.
Matilda wants to move here where the sunflower's missing. Like here, yeah. Whoa!
I think
And
you're
you
in a wall now. I'll
previously-
have to move you. There you go.
Sorry. And then I want to kind of dig a little bit in the spot that has no sunflower or anything that I'm finding.
You begin to dig down. It'd probably take you a good few minutes.
After 10 seconds, Vincent upheels the ground below you.
You're kind of like just beginning to dig, and then dirt begins to lift, and then the ground around you begins to just lift as you move off the spot. Underneath this spot, you can see that there is, in fact, no bodies.
Oh. Okay. Okay. And before I started digging, did the ground look disturbed at all?
It did. It looked like there was at one point a sunflower here that had been removed.
Okay.
Maybe one of them wanted some fresh air, got up and walked away.
Did it look like it was pulled out or dug out?
The ground had been exhumed and then reburied as soft earth.
Okay. Cool.
All right, I'm gonna get ready to go. You guys ready?
Why don't Matilda and Killian go so I can give her the 3-2-1 with Matilda, and then we can go together because I can speak with you.
Okay.
So I'll count, like Matilda will hold up her fingers to do the 3-2-1, and I'll mimic that in Killian's mind so they can get on the fish place at the same time.
So if you go here, as everyone steps on, the wind begins to pick up around you. The eyes almost all light.
Oh, wait.
We were all gonna go on number 1.
Oh, okay. So we do have to go first.
No. I'm saying that 2 of us should go and then drop heavy things on number 2. So that the wind picks up and sends 2 people north, and then the next 2 people should do the same thing. So we all go north.
We all end up in
right?
the same place.
Step by step?
Yeah.
So Matilda and Killian can go first on the number 1, and then Vincent and Jojo will go after.
Okay. So
Can you telepathically communicate with Mo? Because we might want to know what's over there first.
Well, he's coming with me.
I'm just wondering.
Can.
Yeah, if we want to send him, because the puzzle that we're about to go into might require people to be split up on separate sides. So we should be able to communicate with them first so they can tell us if that looks like it's the case.
I will just connect with Matilda and do that. It'll last for 3 minutes, dear, and I can speak to you up to I don't know, 3 or 4 miles. So if you go further than that, it'll cut and I'll know.
Can use my earring to cast message. If that.
It's only within 100 feet, dear. So
Oh. Okay.
I think this is a little better. But
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
you can always test it, and we'll know coordinate the distance at the very least.
as you stand on there, Paka's reaching down with his foot to be it's
No,
trying
no.
to touch. Oh, it's on the one that you're on. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
I
So
just
is
wanted to help.
Matilda and
One, too.
Jojo the first one's going, basically?
I guess I'm fine with that.
So Matilda, you put something heavy on number 2, and Jojo, you put something. You put
I'll
a
move
head
the
of a statue
sun-
on number 1.
Yeah.
I'll mold earth the sunflower over onto it.
So hold on. So me, who's going first? Me and who?
Jojo.
And Paka,
Jojo.
technically.
And Paka.
Okay.
Okay, you guys might need to be fully on these squares, so I'm just gonna do this.
My question is Killian going to put Bladebeak away, or is she going to ride Bladebeak?
It would be an
Either or.
action to bring Bladebeak back out in case of strangeness.
Okay.
So, I guess after this, we'll see if Paka gets blown to pieces,
Okay.
and then or Jojo gets blown to pieces. And if that doesn't happen, then you're good.
We're just gonna drop like a stone. We're just so heavy. This wind is gonna be like.
Matilda saw the wind before. She's gonna try to calculate the best position for her body to be in, because she saw kind of where it went. Not so much that she's gonna negate damage, but just there's better ways to fall. You know what I mean? Not an ass over tea kettle. Might be better to fall butt first.
You
see.
put yourself in a position, and you're just I got it. The future is
Yeah.
in my hands.
Yes.
As you prepare yourself for whatever may come, you guys place down the heavy items on the second stone plinth. And as the wind, like a vortex, begins to pick up around you, it lifts you both into the air. Both of you are teleported. You feel your bodies taken, and as you hit the middle of the air, it is as though you become wind itself. Ooh. When your body gets reconstituted on the other side, a just opaque vortex appears, and as it dissipates, you find yourselves in position. Matilda, you are standing firm, and Jojo, as you appear, Paka is on your back, exactly where he was previously. He looks over towards you and is like, okay,
Oh.
Matilda,
Yes.
okay, well, you're still alive. Are you still in wherever you are, or have you made it to your destination?
We made it. Can I look through the wall?
As you
Again,
turn your back to the wall and you begin to look through, everybody roll initiative. You look onwards towards the fight. As the 3 of you appear in this other grassy area. You can see that there is a central raised platform, and it looks hastily built, but built with purpose. Now, Matilda, as you turn your back away from the fight and you begin to pay attention towards the inside, you are surprised. Jojo, with your passive perception, at the moment they appeared, you began to notice them. You see 3 knights appear standing in full plate, looking onwards towards, like, each holding their blades up facing the wall as though they were preparing for something. And Matilda, as soon as you turn your back, one grabs a javelin from the sheath and goes to throw it. Vincent and Killian and Mo, you may now roll initiative. Also, Matilda and Jojo, I think I rolled your initiative. I can have you re-roll that if you like.
I rolled mine.
Okay.
I think
Matilda,
I
do you
rolled
roll
mine
yours?
too. I think I
Okay.
did.
Yep.
Perfect. And I will do this and this. Mo is surprised.
Goes on me though, so if I move, he'll move.
Just like that. The soldiers turn their attention towards you. This one takes out a javelin, takes aim, and begins to throw. The other moves up towards you, Jojo, and begins to assault. You see the knight that is standing on the other side seems to be directing them, pointing in various different directions, as though controlling the battlefield. Matilda, the javelin comes in at you from behind.
Does it hit me?
I'll find out soon on the next episode. With a natural 20.
Oh!
It carves into
Ooh.
your back, and you take 11
No.
points of damage.
Yeah, that's not that
Oopsie.
bad.
As As the javelin hits you, the individual then moves up towards you and prepares. The second knight moves into you, Jojo, and you see them actually reach a hand in, grab onto the side of the breastplate where you can see that there is a familiar carved rune of a full moon. As he does so, he draws his hand across and it ignites. You see boop, 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 3 little motes of light appear above his head, and one of them poof, flies in towards you immediately. You take 6 points of radiant damage.
Okay. Oh. I was about to change myself to have 6 hit points. That is not what happened.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Killian is surprised, knows nothing about this combat. Pak is surprised. Actually, let me double check his passive. Skaka is surprised. Jojo, you can act on the first turn of combat.
Okay.
Bigby can't be surprised though.
Bladebeak's over here, though.
Jojo is going to just rage. Yeah, usability. Surge. What surge do I get? Whenever a creature hits you with an attack roll, they take force damage. Nice. I think Jojo takes the new ox hammer in her hand. She turns to Paka, who was on her back. Actually, could Paka take, or is Paka surprised?
Paka's surprised.
Oh, okay. Shit. Can I run with him on my back?
Yeah, he's
Or am I
holding on to you
at
currently.
Okay. I'm gonna. Oh, this is 10. No, it's 5 feet up. I can get up there pretty easy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can get up right here. And I'm gonna do. Does that interrupt my charge that I can do?
You mean like jumping? No, you're just, so long as you move in a straight line, at least 10 feet, so which is totally doable. You just like go
Okay,
boop,
awesome.
and then like this, down and then forward.
When
You're
you
good.
move 10 feet in a straight line, before attacking with this weapon, you deal an additional 1d6 bludgeoning on a hit. And creatures hit by the hammer have disadvantage on dexterity saves and concentration throws until my next turn. Okay, sick. And then I'm gonna hit him. Actually, could you re-import Jojo? Because I don't have that ox hammer on my character sheet in Foundry.
Wow, man.
I should
Wow.
have done my head.
No, that's okay. I don't think you have the ability to do that in the first place.
Oh, great. Well, I can just roll with Jongle's Warhammer for now.
Client DM privilege. You have been re-imported as of the end of this statement that I have not been buying time with at current.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, No, that's it. That was,
Woo!
period. Aha! You're good.
Okay. Yeah, that's the Warhammer. Let's go. Attack. I'm raging, and I recklessly do it. Advantage. That's 19 to hit.
He's going to parry.
Okay.
As you bring the Warhammer down, they immediately reach down, grabbing a longsword at their waist, bring it up, and deflect the Warhammer attack off
Sorry,
to
it
the
was
side.
a total of 27. I meant I rolled a 19.
Okay, then in that
Does he
case,
still do it?
he does. However, he is instead
shit.
going to do this.
Shit.
He calls himself out, and you see the body immediately switch with the soldier off to the side. And as the blade carries down and impacts into the body of the soldier, go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. That's 14 points of damage.
15. Just crush the side shoulder, break the bone, body armor impacted, the entire body hits the ground and begins to flitter away.
I have to do my extra attack without moving first, right? That's what you said last time?
No, you can split up your extra attack between movement.
Okay, well, I took 20 feet to move here. Can I use another 15 to go back over to him and try and hit him with my extra attack?
To make the straight line, you had to move 25 feet. Because the diagonals don't count towards straight. Oh, actually, no, you could have done it diagonally, so you're totally good.
Okay, sick. Then she runs and jumps and tries to hit him with her second attack. Attack A. Still advantage. Ooh, it's only a 16 to hit.
16, you bring that blade down and deflected by the longsword.
Okay. I use my bonus action to rage. That's my turn.
Knight's turn. Turning their attention towards you and having seen their ally go down, with a single blow, you see that one of the eyes of this knight under the helmet ignites blue. They look towards you and they bring their blade up for a flurry of 3 attacks. As they carry this brilliant blue blade down across your body, you see very little. The air around you turns a pale blue, almost in an attempt to blind you. As the attacks come in one after the next.
No, I'm not going to use Featherfall. Thank you, Foundry.
One manages to carve across your chest. You dodge out of you kind of just like impact and throw aside the second blade, and then they carry through with the handle itself, which itself seems to be bladed, and just pierce into the side of your shoulder before raking back. The first time you seem to have fought someone who actively has a mastery of battle. You take a grand total of... Sorry?
They take 6 force damage.
Love it.
They take 3 force damage. How many hit? Just the one attack?
2 hit.
2 hit. So I think it's every strike. Sorry, how much damage do I take? I should figure that out first.
You might not be up, so we'll have to find out. I don't know what your hit point total is. You take 14 points of slashing damage, which is 8 and 6. So both of those will be halved, so that's 4 and 3. So you take a grand total of 7.
Okay.
Then you take 2 sources of 12 radiant damage.
So that's a total of 24 radiant.
Yes.
Okay. And then they take another d6. I am still up as a way. Oh, and that's a 6 force damage.
Brilliant. So that's 3 force and then 6 force.
Yes. So a total of 9 force damage as they attack me.
Sweet. As the armor that surrounds you, this warbling energy, just lashes back across their body, you see them recoil, but maintain their position in the fight. At the end of their turn, Vincent, this is the first round you are surprised. Bladebeak takes the dodge action after Killian's turn. Bladebeak would be there, and
what
Matilda, you are
determines-
surprised.
Just as a curiosity, what determines breaking out of surprise? Is it your passive perception?
It's if you guys are actively looking for a threat or anything that might ambush you, then you roll an active perception check, and then they would roll stealth against that.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's passive, yes.
But like my passive perception's better than JoJo's. Is there? A
You're
reason
not
why?
even there. You can't see what's going on. You have
I
no
know.
way of knowing.
Okay, so I just automatically fail that then.
Yeah, you can't perceive
Oh.
it, so you automatically fail.
Sure.
Paka, at the beginning of the next round, Paka begins to run. He's going to position himself in a way that he can see you. Is there anything you wanted Paka to do instead?
No, I don't think so. Just stay safe.
Okay. In his movement,
can't
then,
really-
Paka's going to throw a dagger.
I can't really tell him to do anything anyways because we're all deafened.
That's very true.
It's signal at him.
I don't think Paco would get it.
Paka takes a dagger out of hand, and this knight, having used his reaction, actually takes the moment. You see a glint in his eye as the knight attacks you. He takes a moment, throws the dagger, and it slips underneath the armor, slashing directly into the body of the knight. Takes a little bit of damage. And save, please. Is not poisoned. Manages to stave it off. And then Paka runs over to the other side, preparing himself for his speedy movements. It is Mo's turn. Mo says, I don't like this. I don't like wind.
what?
Wind in general.
You're gonna have to get used to it, I guess.
I'm not
There's
used to
gonna be a lot
wearing
of things you don't like in this dungeon.
Mildly uncomfortable. I have a backpack on and they want me to put the middle strap in so the wind doesn't carry it away, but then it hurts my belly.
We'll get you a nice little padding for that at another point.
The contract is sealed. That's most turn. The soldier turns their attention towards you, Matilda, and attacks spear in hand. With a 23 to hit, they carry through and slash into your back. You take 4 points of damage. With a bonus action, they are going to take a hand into their small pouch on their waist, and then should have done this before, but they take a little vial and they just begin to slather it across the edge of their spear, turning their attention now more towards you. They would not have actually gotten into melee range there. And then that is the end of their turn. Killian is up.
Is Matilda unable to think towards Vincent off her turn?
No, you can if you like. After your first turn ended, you were no longer surprised.
Okay.
It's like right now we're just chilling. Killian's like stroking Bladebeak.
Well, you really when she got hurt the first time, you would have heard Matilda be like, "Ow, fuck!"
I don't know. Could we hear that? Or all of our ears are plugged, so I don't think we heard it.
Mentally
No,
connected.
like mentally too.
Oh, and you're.
But also, I don't know why you guys would just be like, okay, they've gone.
Toe or something, unless you say something.
All right, they've gone through the teleporter into the unknown land where there's potential danger.
No, I know.
Let's just sit here. I'm gonna pet Bladebeak for a while.
Oh no, Vincent checked in and he's like, Matilda, did you make it there? She's like, yeah, we're just looking around. And then like a second later, she's like, ow, fuck. So I assume she just tripped over a rock or something.
I would have probably been like, "Ow, fuck, soldiers!"
Okay, that's different.
Yes.
I just assumed you had some specific kinds of eggs prepared for you. Ones where you dip toast in them.
The way that Matilda and my brain works is that every words we say actually plays in our head. So like, because I have like a monologue in my head. Not everybody has that, but yeah. So if Matilda says it, she's thinking it at the same time. It's like subtitles.
Yeah.
Right. Killian's up.
Okay. Vincent will just respond being like, is there anything you need help with, or should we just wait?
Use discretion. I don't know. You can come help if you want.
Can I? He'll. I can't mentally break the connection with Matilda because then he kind of goes over and signals towards Killian to try and get Killian's attention.
Killian turns and casually walks up to the side of the wall and is like, "Oh, hey, neighbor."
Vincent
What's up?
will reach into his and pull out his notebook and like write on it using his pen. Matilda's, I think she's under attack, but I'm not 100% sure. She said to use our discretion. Do you want to go in now or wait?
Killian immediately, you see the face drop and turns Bladebeak and begins to move back. Bladebeak, how much movement do you have?
40, I think.
40, perfect. Steps on the stone and just kind of points towards the other side for you.
Pressure plate.
Oh yeah, you go over here. Bladebeak sidesteps onto number 1.
Does anything happen yet or no?
Nothing.
I guess it's the end of Killian's turn.
It is. Bladebeak will take the dodge action again for funsies. Jojo, you are up.
Jojo will continue to attack. And continue to. Oh, they have 3 attacks, and I have 2 attacks. Does it make sense for
One
me?
more attack.
Yeah,
They
you may as well
hurt.
just give up.
So bad. They hurt so bad the last
It's
time.
actually good because if they hit you more, they also get damaged more.
Yeah, but then I might go down. I'll attack recklessly. When in doubt, you know?
When in doubt, do as the doubters
Well,
do.
fuck.
No.
Haha.
Shit.
He is, however.
Do you have inspiration?
Oh, he's used his reaction. Okay.
Nah.
It's wise. That was your first attack. Second attack coming in.
Oh, I thought you were saying he was going to do a thing.
Nope.
That's 24 to hit.
That's twice the amount. I'd also replaced your old dice, so to say, don't worry about that one.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. And that's an 11 damage.
11 points of damage. Buckling down on this knight's armor, you see that with this heinous blow, they are now bloody.
Woo! Bonus action, drink some alcohol.
This seems to offend the knight more so than your attacks.
Good. Good.
Break in. You just hear
medium
moan
healing.
underneath
I think you're
the
slightly
helmet.
below.
You're a brigand.
He didn't say brigand, he said some kind of brigand.
Okay. That's Jojo still says what she says.
You gain, so that is 44 plus 4. Minimum is 10, so 11 is
So
good.
you're good.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's my turn.
Mid-turn. The knight's turn. Turning their attention towards you, they shift, they move around you, bringing their blade across. Go ahead and roll perception for me.
Okay. Perception. Normal. It's a 13.
13. You do not even get to register this movement. As they begin to move, this like pale blue light that's shedding off of their blade seems to distract you, and by the time you finish chugging your alcohol, they're not in front of you anymore. You turn your attention to your back, but already they begin to attack you with advantage.
Oh no!
Shift strike. Are you gonna feather fall?
No.
As the attack comes through, that was not actually with advantage. Let me roll one more. It's not an at 20. They hit, carving across your back. You take 3 points of slashing damage,
That's already happened.
and what's the individual here? 15 points of radiant.
Okay.
And then take a d6 of psychic or force.
Horse.
Roll that damage.
Oh, hell yeah.
Very
6.
nice. Lashing back once again, the energy begins to strike. And the knight, having moved into this position, they'll remember where they are. Vincent, you were up.
Vincent looks over towards Killian, gives her a little nod, goes over towards the pressure plate there, and steps onto it with Mo.
As you step onto the number 1, nothing happens. I will say this, Killian also prepared something heavy for the pressure plate too, and as Killian places something heavy down on number 2, the wind lifts, but number 1 does not.
He'll send a message back to Matilda. Seems like the plates only have a one-way ticket this time. There's probably a cooldown on it or something. He'll go over to the wall here with a little bit more of his movement. Just kind of like feel for it. I don't know how far you're away. Maybe that message might be useful, but if you can hear me, stay safe, dear. He'll try to inspire her from the other side of the wall. Am I within 60 feet of Matilda?
You don't need to see people to inspire them.
Oh, they need to hear
I guess it's
me.
just they need to hear you, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, you are not within 60 feet of Matilda.
Really?
You are 65 feet away. Let me just make sure there's no difficult terrain here. You are exactly 60 feet away.
Ooh,
Brilliant.
not a waste. I can't inspire you from here, Matilda. But
What is your
can.
inspiration dice?
It's a D6.
Matilda, you gain a d6 of bardic inspiration.
And Vincent looks towards Killian and just gestures for her to come back to the wall. Oops. Sorry. He has to end his movement there because he's used it all.
Gotcha. You want Killian to come back towards the wall?
Well, she can't really read his notebook from that far away, I assume.
Gotcha. Matilda, you were up.
Ouchie! Don't like that. So, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to use. Hold on. I'm going to healing light myself, please.
You have my permission.
You can add
Thank you.
bardic inspiration to that healing, by the way.
Oh, I can?
That's true, yeah.
Mhm.
Or attack damage.
Oh, wait. I think it has to be a spell. I don't know if it's. Let me read this. And then
I think it's just specifically against healing or damage rolls.
No, there's. Let me find this.
Do one. Oh no! Ah!
Spell damage
Then
rolls are
half?
spell healing rolls. You are correct.
Yes.
One,
No,
so that's
it's-
3.
3. Okay. 3, and then I'm going to do another one. Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think I'll just do that for now. So I'll just do 2, and then I will cast a spell on myself. This one's a new one. No one's seen me cast this one before.
Mm.
I really want it to be like Eldritch Blast.
Oh, yeah,
And I itty bitty them.
right. Eaty weedy. No, it's this one.
Shadows of Boil.
Ooh.
I don't know why it rolled something.
Okay, so flame-like shadows wreath your body until the spell ends, causing you to become heavily obscured to others. The shadow turns dim light within 10 feet of you into darkness and bright light in the same area into dim light. Until the spell ends, you have resistance to radiant damage. In
Yeah.
addition, whenever a creature within 10
Ooh.
feet of you hits you with an attack, the shadow lashes out at the creature and deals the 2d6 necrotic damage that you just rolled.
Yeah.
So. Oh, it requires an eyeball encased in a gem worth at least 150 gold to cast.
Oh.
You do not have the capability of doing this yet.
But her buttons.
You go to cast the spell. However, as you
Oh,
do so, you
no.
recognize that you do not have this this component, and you kind of can just take your action to do a different action.
Okay.
Your god comes down and is like, nah, man, you need gross eyeball.
Please sign here and sign up for the weekly newsletter.
I'll do Armor Vegas instead.
Nice.
Frost,
Can you-
you go to create this like lashing shadow flame that like sparks itself with this divine inspiration surrounding you, and as you do so, you feel this immediate spike through your mind, and like on instinct almost shift your hand and begin to cast as the shadow turns to water vapor around you and solidifies into a frozen shield of ice. What were you asking, Matilda?
I was gonna ask if you could put one of my spell slots back unless I use both of them, which is fine.
I'm not sure what you mean.
On
Because,
her character sheet, she casts
yeah.
both.
Oh, you cast both. Gotcha. So if you go into your spell book, under Pact Magic on your character sheet,
Mm-hmm.
you see how there's a little like 0 out of 2 there? Just it'll say Pact Magic 4th level
Mhm.
and then a 0 out of
Okay.
2. If you click the
Oh, I'll
0, you
fix
can
it.
bring that up to 1.
Okay. Thank you.
Sweet. Anything with your bonus or movement?
I did my bonus already.
Oh, that's right.
Ooh, if you trigger their opportunity attack, they're gonna get sniped by your frost.
So 5.
That's 20 damage.
Always cast
Yeah.
at max. Welcome to Warlocks.
I'm gonna roll Arcana for this guy.
It's pretty frosty, man.
You see the spear bring back, and as you move out of range, they go to attack you, and then don't. They flip the spear down and plant it. Nat 20 Arcana.
Okay, so 20.
Still a deterrent. You just
25,
basically put up
30.
the fuck off field, so.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm right there.
It's probably ideal, but 20 damage is fuck. Okay,
20 damage
you
is
move over.
fuck.
20 damage is fuck. Paka looks over and who's he gonna? He looks over and is just like, "This one's our friend," and then moves this way. Takes out a dagger, once again coats in poison and tosses it. This dagger bounces off the armor of the knight in question, and I'm gonna roll a fumble here.
Oh no.
Favorable. Bounces up and past you, Jojo, and you see like the green liquid just pass by the top of your head. And he's just like, "Good hustle!" Before running back to the other side. Mo's turn. Mo says, "Paka's yelling again. I hate when he does this."
How am I hold up. I see Mo's lips moving.
You can't hear me. Wow.
I feel
This
like
is phenomenal.
Mo goes in and just like takes off my earphones and like whispers into them and then puts them back on.
No, he just starts saying things that you will never hear and never know.
Tell me what they are.
I won't.
Can I roll a read lips check in any way?
Do you have the ability to read lips?
No, but I feel like if he went like, fuck you, master, or something, and right in my face, I'd be able to at least get some.
I said
words.
vacuum. Go ahead and roll a intelligence-based perception check.
Okay.
Ah, yes, the famous D&D vacuum.
Yeah, I can't swing vacuums existing in the Renaissance.
Oh.
Nothing. No idea. The soldier's turn. Soldier turns their attention towards you, Matilda. They would know everything about this spell.
Vincent's been so nice to Mo. He saved him.
He might be saying nice things. It's more like Mo to be hiding the nice things he would say than the mean
That's
ones.
true.
The soldier turns towards this corner. You see they've planted their spear, turn their hands in, and in the center of their hands, this blue flame appears. You see them struggle against it for a moment to contain it. As they lean forward, they just loose one finger and then launches out like a bolt towards you. As they unleash an arcane bolt of azure flame in your direction. I need you. Actually, no, I don't. Matilda, this bolt flies in, slams into the side of your body. I need you to roll a charisma saving throw. Oh, that was con. You can roll that one again.
No, I'm still concentrating on my thing, I think. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. You said charisma save?
Indeed.
You're not concentrating on anything. The armor Pegasus does not require concentration.
Well, then why did I have to roll a con check?
Because it put itself on you when you cast Shadows of Moil, but it's not really applied to you.
$23, perfect. The flaming bolt slams into you. You take 6 points of cold damage as it lashes across your body. And then you see it begin to attempt to take root and immediately fizzle out, almost from no foreseen source. Killian's turn. Oh, 6 points of cold damage.
So I picture like Killian walking over. I'll hold up my thing that says, well, we might as well go on like number 2. See what it takes us.
Shifting the large stone that Killian placed on number 2 back to number 1, you see the wind begin to pick up around Killian and Bladebeak.
I turn my notebook towards Mo and I'm like, this could get dicey. Prepare yourself.
Mo just gives a nod and then an evil smirk.
And that's the end of Killian's. I guess she holds an action.
Sure.
to fire at a hostile creature.
Wonderful. Killian is ready in action. Jojo, you were up.
So there's nothing in Rage about not being able to use magic items. Am I correct in my reading of that?
Unless
this magic item specifically states that it allows you to cast a spell.
Oh.
Like, for example, the Wand of Fear just states that it creates a cone as an action. It doesn't say you can cast the Fear spell.
Okay, so Wand of Magic Missile says you can use charge to cast a magic missile spell, so I can't do that.
Correct.
And then Circle of Basing, I cast Scorching Ray. Can't use that. Well, shit. Okay.
There's items we can seek out in the future, or you can get enchantments done and be very specific with it later on.
Okay, cool. I'll just attack recklessly. I'm wondering if I want to charge at them so I can get more damage out of it. But then I would get an attack of opportunity. Yeah, I'll just attack them recklessly.
You can if you forego one of your multi-attack, you can shove them 5 feet back, and then take a step back because you're not in their melee range, and then charge forward.
I don't know.
That's
Doesn't
the
seem
method.
worth it.
Cool.
I think.
But yeah, thank you.
Oh no, yeah, you.
9. I don't know why it's not saying.
Oh, I have to hit
full-
whether or not I want to use this.
Oh, okay.
I will use it for now and then go back if otherwise. Okay. You bring the attack in, and it's crushing weight. Ooh, how far are you? Damn it. You see he turns his attention towards the other knight on the other side of the battlefield and goes to like raise his hand, and the blow slams directly down into the chest before he can manage anything.
Nice. I wish I'd critted on 19s. Oh, max damage. 16.
Ooh. Still good, my guy.
16 bludgeoning.
Gotta dip into that fighter champion.
Not looking
attack
good.
Number 2. I can't triple class. I mean, I'm sure I can, but like, I don't want to. That's a 17 to hit.
17. The armor, you blast the first one, and then he manages to move out of the way of the second.
Okay. I don't think I can do anything as my bonus action. So that is my turn.
The knight's turn. Turning their attention towards you and the massive amount of damage that you've just put out towards them. You can see blood spattering across the inside of the armor.
Do I notice them noticing that I'm using like a famous Enthean Knight's warhammer?
Looking on the inside of the armor, all you now see is both eyes ablaze in blue flame. It's nigh on impossible to determine like what they're looking at.
No emotion.
He doesn't attack. He pulls himself into a stance. You see he grabs both hands onto the longsword and just places himself into a specific stance.
Okay.
Vincent, you're up. He's also going to shift here.
With Mo on his shoulder, he'll take a step forward, aware danger is probably lurking on the other side. And he'll kind of step on the pressure plate and swivel as the wind blows around him.
As you step onto plate number 1, nothing happens.
Oops, I meant plate number 2.
You shift over to plate number 2 and the wind begins to pick up around you. You place something heavy on stone number 1.
There was a sunflower on 2, so he'll just kind of like move it over.
You like grab the sunflower and unceremoniously place it over here, and as soon as it touches the pressure plate, the eyes of the statues ignite, and you are immediately taken away. You and Killian teleport to the other side. Actively aware that there is a threat engaged on the other side, you are not surprised when you see the form of 3 knightly figures appear and join the fray.
Vincent takes a quick, brief look of his surroundings. He can see Jojo and Matilda on the other side of this fence.
You can.
Scanning that they're fighting knights, and then we also have knights on our side. He'll take a bow towards them. It's like he meant to do what he was doing. And I would like to cast. Yeah, I'll do this. He is going to cast a 4th level to target all 3. This guy looks like he's the fanciest, right?
He's quite fancy.
Okay. He's going to use a bonus action to seep into his brain, just kind of get under his skin. Just send some howls of the battlefield. These guys look like knights. To use my bonus action to unsettle him. And then that'll be a -3 to the save. And then I'm going to Tasha's Mind Whip at level 4, all 3 of them. Says it won't let me target all 3. That's sad.
The damage is the same amongst each, yes?
Yeah, I'll just target one then. They need to make an intelligence saving throw. DC is 15, except for big guy rolls with a negative. Oh, my thing got overridden. Was that a 3 or a 5 before? Oh, it's a 3. -3 with the roll.
Okay, and this guy is a -3. So the soldier succeeds, this soldier fails, and with a -3, big guy fails.
Okay. The soldier that succeeded takes 6 psychic damage, and nothing else happens. The soldier and the knight that failed take 12 psychic damage, and they lose their reaction, and on their turn they can only choose to move, bonus action, or action. Only one of those.
The knight who took 12 damage is heavily bloodied immediately. The head explodes, and you can see blood trickling out from the inside of the helmet. And both of these two can only take... I will pop this out for myself. Brilliant. Okay. You can see that this spell has been quite effective.
How much movement did I take to get on the pressure place? Just like, was that 10 feet to walk over there?
I can check your...
Because it says I have full movement right now, so...
5, 10. You've used 15 feet from your initial position.
And then Vincent will move 15 feet, like, back over here, basically. Mo will come with him. Mo is in the initiative. Okay.
Yeah, he's been commenting. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's all I can do.
The knight turns their attention immediately towards you, and you can see with reckless abandon begins to rush in. They reach about here, and as they kind of skid to a halt, they use their momentum. They begin to spin their blade, and as they do so, it catches the light above. Yes.
As their turn, they can only use a movement, an action, or a bonus action. You have to choose one of them. So if he's moved, that's it. I can only do one of those 3 things.
This feature is specific, however, I think that the scenario that unfolds before them is that they run towards you and prepare.
Okay.
As they lift. Movement, bonus, or... Does it specify reaction? Sorry, do you want to read that one?
Reactions, they are lost.
Perfect. Okay, he runs towards...
until the end of my next turn.
He begins to run towards you, and you can see heavily distracted, does not even do anything of what he had mentioned previously. And then at the end of his turn... I don't have them marked with anything. It was also this one. Let me just... You're poisoned now, for funsies. Matilda, you were up. You can see on the other side that a battle has also begun. You can just barely see Killian and Vincent and Izova here.
I'm going to... Edie beady. The 12 hit?
You turn around, you take aim, a 12. Just barely hits. Seven. Racked with this force damage that passes through their body, they are bloodied.
Emboldened by the fact that they look like they're on death's door, Matilda's gonna hit them again. Oh, hold on. 21.
21? Go ahead and roll damage.
Good damage. Much better.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a note here. 9 damage. Second blast comes in just as they finished accosting you with a flaming bolt. You just impact them with 2 motes of magical force, and they slam into the ground.
And then how's Jojo looking?
Oh, bloody.
Okay. I'll use, and then I'm going to use. Oh, hold on. There we go. Ah. No. No. Okay. Thank you. That's 3 points of healing, and then I'm gonna do it again.
I am no longer bloody.
6.
Awesome.
And then I will end my turn. I don't know if like you feel the healing magic and you look back and you just see Matilda smiling. Doing her healy thing.
The
These
feather.
guys should end together.
That's the signature trait. I know when I've been healed by Matilda. There's always a
Featherfall.
feather in my mouth.
Yeah, you cough, you're like,
Like, thanks.
The soldiers, this one.
just for you.
Who's there?
Only
This
you
one
that happens to.
rushes forward. They begin to encircle you, Vincent. This one turns over and begins to stand before Killian, but does not act. Tell you what. Bringing back their spear, they ignite it and they bring themselves back for a searing smite. You see the energy in their blade begin to bear down upon you as holy sunlight begins to bear.
It says I have to roll a con save. This is correct.
Searing, let me go ahead and pop this open.
And the one on the stream screen popped up for Mo.
Not quite yet. Bringing the blade back, they carry through and they slash into you. It does manage to get over your AC. So now you go ahead and roll that
Can I
save.
shield?
You may. Go ahead and cast shield. It will hit you.
Even with shield up, okay.
No. It will hit you, and then so you can cast shield, basically.
Yeah. Shield?
You cast shield. The blade comes bearing forward and almost slams into your face. You cast an arcane shield, and it breaks through, leaning towards the last, just tiny little bit, almost carving directly through you. Let me see. So they do not cast Searing Smite. They cannot do that yet. As the first attack comes through and has missed, they withdraw their spear from your shield and prepare for the second, but that's the end of their turn. Paka is up. Paka is going to rush over here and is just like, what are you doing? They weren't well, they actually attacked us. Never mind. Sorry about the whole they were friends thing. It didn't seem like it was a bad assessment. He rushes over here, takes aim to the soldier who had just attacked Vincent. He's like, Vincent got stabbed in the face. And then he pulls back a dagger and throws it towards him. 17 to hit, manages to hit, 3 points of damage to the soldier. As this dagger comes flying in from nowhere, Vincent, you see that the soldier kind of carries through with the damage. Rolls a con save. Manages to fight off the effects of the poison. Oop, wrong one. And that is the end of Paka's turn. He reaches up and grabs onto the side of the fence and is just like, nah, let me through. Mo's turn. Mo's gonna move over here. Still invisible. He's going to. He takes stock of the battlefield.
He has the Scythe, the Sky Reaper, but I don't think he wants to engage in melee combat.
Mo's a little bit fun. He pulls his hand back, and you see him kind of just create this arcane mode of flame as he becomes visible, and then he looses it forward. He has cast the spell, so technically he was hidden at that moment, so he was attacking with advantage. The mode of flame slams into the side of the soldier's armor and begins to just lick up until it bashes underneath the helmet and begins to burn at the face. They take damage. Oof. Almost gone. Mo then shirks around the corner.
Also, these guys don't regain their reaction until the end of my next turn, so just because their turn passes doesn't mean they have one.
until the end of its next turn. So they've all regained their reactions.
No, the Tasha's Mind Whip. Oh,
On a failed save, the target takes 3d6 psychic damage, and it can't take a reaction until the end of its next turn.
really?
Yeah.
Is the wording different from the one?
Moreover, on its next turn, it must choose, etc., etc.
Okay.
But they have their reactions back,
Oh, okay.
and then Killian is up.
I was thinking monk stuff.
Tasha's Monk Whip.
Killian's up. I think she sees this dude barreling at her, so she's gonna fire. Also, her held reaction would have gone off from before, right?
As soon as you saw a target, I'll let
Awesome.
that happen. Yeah, I'll let that still happen. Go ahead. So you can take a shot and then take your turn.
Oh, well, nothing would have changed.
Ooh, roll a
Sorry.
d20. Favorable, nothing happens. Okay, now Killian may act.
23.
Roll damage. Against the soldier immediately in front of Killian.
Yeah, 9 piercing magical damage.
9 just blasted a hole right through the armor. Does not come out the other end, which is not a good thing. And then they fall to the ground deceased.
I think she's then gonna level her gun. A range.
So this is a 5-foot high little stone step. You actually would have to step up to it to gain visibility on the other side.
Yeah. That's fine. She's gonna. I can't move Blade Beak, but I will move Killian.
I got Blade Beak.
She'll step up to here.
And now you stand with more visibility of the battlefield. You level the gun and take the shot.
19.
19, roll damage.
6.
Kaboom. Blasting through the second soldier. Both land on the ground deceased. You look at the knight turning around and staring towards their fallen allies. As they focus in on this loss, you can actually discern from their body language this just sense of supreme loss.
I think Killian's too focused. She's just like, gotta protect my friends. And then she's gonna go into this corner over here using a little bit more of her movement. And Blade Beak's just gonna take the dodge action and end her turn.
Dodge. Beautiful. Jojo, you were up.
Jojo is gonna see this new scary stance that looks very much like a parry or some type of like defensive movement. So Jojo's, as her bonus action, is gonna take a deep breath and enter rage. Take out the magic missile and shoot them. And also, so I'm gonna send 3 bolts towards this person, and also 2 towards this other one on the other side. I'm using 5 charges. Consumption, I'm using 5, so 5. Cast. You must target at most 1 token before doing it. Okay, that's weird. But I will do that.
Welcome to Syntax. Hey.
Oh, we do magic missile where you roll once and then that's all of the missiles, right?
Yes, that is all the damages. As
Okay.
you blast back, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Wait, no, that's not right.
What?
Oh, sorry. There was an error in this character sheet. There we go.
So, yeah, that's...
An arcane shield appears over the body, and the
You
magic missiles
piece
are
of
deflected
shit.
off of it. However, you see that this breaks his stance. And the other 3 missiles fly in towards the other individual. You aimed 4 at them, right? No, 2?
It was 2 at this person.
2. They take 8 points of damage as it's just like boom, 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 slams into the side of their body, distracting against Vincent and his shield.
I've used my bonus action and my action, so that is my turn. Yep. And now I don't have a rage, but they've used their reaction, which I know because I'm very smart. So
Lost
I'm gonna. Oh, did you move on to someone else?
I did,
don't
my
think I
bad. I
ended-
thought you were done. You up.
I'm gonna move away do more. I'm gonna do more. I'm not running away, okay? This is a tactical
Retreat.
Yeah, this is tactical. Actually, sorry. I'm gonna no, back. I didn't do that movement. Can I undo that? Can I control
Yes.
D? Hey! I go up here. This is just smart. This is smart things I'm doing. My movement's 40, right? Is it 40 or 35?
It's not when you're raging. You just have fast movement now, yes?
Yeah.
I believe you have 40 yet.
I'm just gonna jump on this side. Can I do that? Up.
As you turn and you run, you like pull out the magic missile. The knight immediately brings a hand off of the blade and casts shield. Arcane shield appears and you're already gone. You're like defending your tactical choice, and in the back of their mind, they're like, brilliant. And you're just like, this was a good idea. I'm not running away.
This isn't cowardly. This is tactical. It's smart.
The knight gives you a solemn bow before immediately taking chase.
Okay, great. Good.
Reaching only about here and not within range, they bring the blade up, and you see a move that you have not actually seen in quite a while. They wreath the blade in moonlight, carry back, and slam down as a blade carves through the ground towards you.
Love that.
Oh, good. I'm glad then, because that's the thing that I did. The blade carries forward and slams into your body, carving across your chest and dispersing, and you look down and no damage.
Oh, okay.
The knight looks
I'm
towards
suspicious.
you and cocks their head. They are suspicious too. Vincent, you are up.
This knight, does he look he looks sad because his buddies died, right?
Yes, he looks incredibly disturbed and distraught.
Vincent will take a step over here, and as he goes to walk forward to the individual, he's going to say the word Pesca out, which is this casting spell for Mind Sliver. And I need him. He's going to quicken cast this. I'm going to need him to roll I think it's our intelligence saving throw. Let me cast it first. He quicken casts this. So, int save, please.
Does not succeed.
Cool. He has to take 4 psychic damage and the -2 to his next saving throw, which Vincent will take out his wand and point it at him. It's about time you got down on your knees. And commands him to grovel.
So you did quick and cast Mind Sliver. Okay. Beauty. That is a wisdom save.
Yes, -2 to the roll.
-2 made all the difference. They immediately they will go prone. You see them begin to struggle against the spell and then begin to drop themselves to the ground.
Cool. You'll look in the direction of where Mo went and where Killian went. He's all yours. His shield has also ended. Well, it will end at his turn, I think. He ends his turn while walking up and staring over him, groveling before him.
As you move forward and you take your stride in, they immediately fall prone. A spear in hand, you see them begin to grip the spear with such anger that they uproot the ground underneath. And that is the end of their turn. Matilda, you were up.
All right. They cast shield, correct? That's why they have a shield?
They did have a shield, then it disappeared at the end of their turn.
Okay. I'm just annoyed with these dudes. So I'm gonna eaty beaty. Get fucked. Die.
So they do have +2 to their AC for the, you're kind of like shooting at them from below. There's a stone platform before you. As you bring your hand up and let loose, they duck underneath. It flies past into the open air and dissipates.
Rude.
Oh yeah, you ignore half cover. Even still, 15 does not hit.
Really? The other guy was able to hit. Does this dude look more armored?
He looks rather more armored.
He's like a commander. He looks quite a bit more fancy than the other guy.
He's got this giant blue billowing cape.
It's the
You can
cape,
actually
guys.
hear it. It's just like throughout the fight, and it's kind of annoying.
I'm gonna try again.
Even with our ears plugged, damn.
It's loud. That's what I mean. It's really annoying. Go ahead. You have a second Eldritch Blast if you like.
Itty bitty! Come on! Crit! I'll use
The
my
Eldritch
bardic
chant.
inspiration just to be safe. Oh, whoops! What did I do?
This is an attack roll. However, he cannot parry this. You let loose your Eldritch Blast, and it impacts into the side of the helm. Go ahead and roll damage.
It's not a problem. Oh, now it is. Okay.
4 damage?
It says 6 damage.
6 damage. They slam into
Oh.
the ground. After being impacted with this force, they look down towards the two of you and then reach a hand out in frustration, clutching their grasp before it loosens, and they slam into the ground. The armor clanks, and they are defeated.
It looks like a feather just like stabbed him like through, like, you know, like a really
Is that
sharp
something-
quill.
Is that something that's never been noticed before? Is that within every Eldritch Blast is a sharpened quill?
Well, no, I always like to think that it kind of looks like it looks like Eldritch energy, but if you kind of squint, it looks like a big plume of feathers. But whenever Matilda gets a kill, it's like finish them, and it's like, it's like they just die with a quill stabbed into them. It's pretty dope.
Quill
it's, like,
pulls out
bigger.
and then uses the blood to write farewell and then disappears. Non-canon. However, you anything with your movement and bonus?
If I'm allowed to, can I use my bonus action to kind of like peek through on the other side for my friends to see what's going on?
You can move and actively see them. Like, if you move like 5 feet and then 10 feet, you'll have a stock of the entire battlefield. But you can't like gain visibility over the entire battlefield.
No, that's fair. Okay. So that's what I'll kind of do is like I'll use my movement and kind of like my bonus action to get like a see the battlefield kind of deal. And
I'll
then
give you a play cover. These two dudes are dead. Killian and Vincent are perfectly fine and look flawless as usual. And then this guy is literally groveling before Vincent.
Nice.
So they need
Matilda's
help.
like,
Just not in the way that you thought.
yes. Matilda's just like, oh yes, it's Tuesday. And I will end my turn.
Brilliant. Paka's like, they need help. He runs over here and he's like, I can't see them. You're right where I was. And he takes out a needle, loads it into a little dart gun and goes, blows it towards the dude who's on the ground. This will be a disadvantage.
Yeah, he's groveling.
5. It just flies past you, Vincent, and you just see a poison dart fly past and hit the dirt on the other side. And you hear Paka go, no! Mo rounds the corner and prepares to loose a firebolt at Paka, but then chooses not to.
Mo,
He's going to
dear.
go over here. He's going to pull out this little dagger, and he's
He
going
has
to
a scythe,
cruelly
though.
attempt to stab down. He doesn't want to use the scythe. He wants to use a cool dagger.
Oh, but the scythe is so much cooler. It's like a little Grim Reaper scythe.
It's
Of
not even
radiance.
little. It's twice the size. Oh, you know what? Actually, yes, I do want the visual of that. He grabs the scythe and just kind of like begins to move forward. He flaps with his wings and the scythe begins to spin. So that is a fire attack, I believe. Let me check.
No, it's not. So he uses charisma to attack with it.
Yeah, but it's a flaming blade.
It's
It's a
actually
radiant.
radiant damage.
It is radiant. Let me see.
You deal an extra 1d6 radiant damage.
I didn't consider the nature of like the cool little blurbs that I have when I put them into a monster stat block. This thing just tripled in size. Radiant damage, beautiful. 1d6 plus charisma. So, attacking.
So the normal, if he's two-handing it, which I assume he is, it's 1d8, and then he gets an extra 1d6 radiant on top of it. And he uses charisma to attack.
That is a ruthless hit. And carrying forward with his aggressive stance, attempts to impact this individual. As he brings out the scythe, the soldier who has basically now just lost the spell that was commanding them, punches the ground and looks up and almost seems to recognize it.
Ooh.
But as the scythe comes bearing down, it slashes across their body, and you see that the armor rejects the light.
Interesting. So he did take the slash damage, right? The D8?
I'm going to
Plus
go ahead
charisma?
and read this again. Scythe deals 1d6 plus charisma radiant damage when used in this way. You can also use your action to cause it to... No, it doesn't do additional damage. You can choose to attack it with a scythe, and it deals 1d6 plus charisma. But it is actually just a staff. It wouldn't deal. It deals 1 bludgeoning damage or 2 bludgeoning damage if used in 2 hands. Else, you can have it create a scythe of sunlight and then attack with that. It's just a d6 plus charisma.
So why would he not just use the staff then? Because it's a D8. Like, I'm just wondering.
It's not. It's the
It's
staff
normal-
itself deals.
It's 1d6 or two-handed. It's 1d8.
Oh, you are correct. 1d6 minus 2. Because it's basically a charisma-based weapon. But anyway, without getting too bogged down into the weeds of this, he carried through with the staff as a scythe. It carved into the body of the creature. No damage.
Hmm.
Interesting.
These are
Then Mo-
Lodunians, right?
Those are Lodumnians. Mo is then going to fearfully fly 5 more feet up and try and get himself out of range as he looks towards the creature and is like, oh no. Killian is up.
Okay, Killian, I can't move. Bladebeak will run over here to negate the disadvantage from prone and shoot point blank into the face. $25.
Jeez. With disadvantage? No, you didn't roll with disadvantage.
I know you're not supposed to. I have.
Oh, yeah.
Attack rolls within melee range have advantage, so they negate each other.
That's true. Go ahead and roll damage. 11? Ugh. Still alive. Heinously bloodied.
That's right, right? Like you have.
You are
advantage
correct, yeah.
and-
Yep,
I
yep,
was
yep.
sitting here being like, did I fuck it up again?
With a
That's what it
16,
is.
you do not take any ricochets
11.
off the armor.
11 piercing.
16 does not hit.
Oh, 16 does not hit.
16 does not hit.
Ricochets off, and then Bladebeak will come down and rend with advantage to hit.
You need... Yes, that is correct. Oh, I guess I do that. Oof, that's a hit. So that is a d8 plus 2. Carving down across the body in this just onslaught, being surrounded by enemies and ruthlessly attacked. They are just barely yet still living. You can see that they stand basically on hopes and dreams alone. Was that the end of Killian's turn?
But she'll take a step back.
I can
Well,
do
you
that. I think I
ended the
moved
turn.
it. You take 1 step backward?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, still within melee range. Jojo, you were up.
Okay, Jojo sees that they're pretty good over there. I think she's going to spend her turn perceiving for other threats that might pop up for both sides. If she can do that.
Yeah, go and roll perception.
Perception. 11.
You glance around, you don't particularly see anything. As you begin to examine the area, you notice that there is this kind of stone doorway on the top. And similarly, there is another stone doorway on the south. However, they are both filled in. There's this kind of wooden doorway that is closed.
Okay. That's my action. Can't really do a bonus action. Guess it's my turn.
Vincent, you were up.
Okay. I think Vincent is going to... This is an interesting... He hasn't lost his movement. He just has to grovel, right? He can still use his reactions, right?
Yes. The action that they took and then ended their turn, yeah.
Yeah,
That's all
so
that
like
one does.
on their turn, they just have to grovel, but they still have their reactions. Okay.
Yes.
Vincent is going to look down towards them. He is going to cast Dissonant Whispers. I need them to roll a wisdom saving throw.
They fail. I don't think I've succeeded a saving throw in this game. Every time I hear saving throw, it's just like, that's a 3. That's a 5.
So they must use their reaction to start running. So he leans down and he whispers something in his ear. No, you guys don't know what it is. And then this person's like eyes like get really big like saucers and he starts fleeing. And then as this guy turns around, Vincent will take his rapier out and go to slice him across the throat if he's still up.
Mo was going to do that
13 psychic damage.
13 psychic damage? Oh. He turns and begins to crawl away. As he crawls, you see the blood begin to pour down through the helmet, and he looks in your direction before reiterating the same few words over and over again. Slams into the ground and the blood just begins to pool before that blood that stains the grass turns to ash flittering away. And
okay. Vincent had his rapier out ready to like slice his throat, and then this guy just like fell over and he's just like, he puts it away.
The doorways on both sides begin to open, scraping along the wild grass and leaving you a new pathway for escape.
Vincent will like connect with Matilda and Jojo. I feel like had we not been a party before, this would have been a lot harder to deal with. How do people go about this when they go into the dungeon solo?
What about that person? Yeah, that was alone.
Would they have to wait?
Maybe that explains
Until-
the sunflowers.
Go ahead and roll. You guys may roll a group investigation check.
Nice.
Regardless of this investigation check, Vincent likes to think that the people who came in here and foolishly did this solo are buried there.
So, Jojo, it strikes you that this does seem to be like a situation in which you are locked to a number of people required nearly. Were there, considering this can exist, it also strikes you that the opposite on both ends may also exist, in which only one or fewer people are allowed to progress, or you need more people than you guys even have available to you.
Okay.
That thought crosses your mind.
Vincent chucks the little shards over to Paka.
Paka is like running around and actively trying to grab the shards on his side, and then as you throw them, he's just like, yes, assist. Grabbing all of these little bits.
I like to picture like Mo flying over with one and being like, "Nyeh."
Here, take this. Paka's like, I'll take it, because you're my friend. And then he's just like, whoa.
There has to be a way to get through here by yourself, though, right? Because otherwise that other guy would have wanted us to come with him.
Maybe the floors rearrange themselves depending on how many people are there.
With your additional, I'll use this with that same thought. That, as far as you can tell, there's either some way around, which you haven't seen, or he wasn't alone.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay. Interesting.
Me and Kill are gonna head this way. I'll connect with Jojo. Just shut down the link if anything happens.
Okay.
So you guys are aware, as you begin to circle around, you hear the sound of metal hitting the ground. And the knight on the northern side has dropped an Enthian knight's longsword.
Ha. Okay, I'll take that.
You guys should just wear them as armor.
Start
taping them to your bodies.
No wonder you were just like, yeah, they're probably only worth like 40 gold. I was like, but this is a dungeon match. I was like, oh, well, I didn't realize they drop like candy.
Got so many weapons on me right now. Actually, maybe I should give this to Paka.
You're like a walking armory, which is hilarious.
Yeah, actually, I give Paka the Scythe of the Sky Reaper.
And then
That's
the
what I
sword as well.
Scoop.
The swords are sort of good to have both of them because they narratively you can like show the knight being like, no, I'm on your side. No, I'm on your side.
Turncoat, J'accuse.
I cannot move. Adrian.
Saboteur!
You may now move.
Was there anything fancy on Cape Dude's body?
On Cape Dude, that was the person who dropped the Enthean Knight's longsword. But all that remains now, save for the sword, is ash. And Baka has collected the little gemstone.
As that flame hit me, or maybe not as it, and now thinking back to that flame hitting me and nothing really happening, could I take a look at the part of my Ashfall that has like the moon eclipsed by the sun? Or what was it again?
It was the moon eclipsing the sun.
Does it look weird or is it just normal? It's like
No change.
okay.
If I touch the gems we got, do I hear anything in them?
You feel a faint sense of regret and a little bit of frustration, a little bit of anger.
Hey, bookworms. We got another puzzle over here.
Okay.
As you approach, Vincent, you see that there is a massive impact that has broken one of the statues. This attributes to the sound that you had heard previously.
Oh, when we pulled the
Moving yourselves into the location as you all enter in. Each one of you, Paka moves in as well. Just make sure that I have Mo in here
There's a
somewhere.
scythe, there's an open hand, and then there's a book.
I love how Vincent's like the theater kid amongst all like the mathletes.
Gotta get that feeling.
Wow.
Seems like only 4 people can go forward on this one. Do you need... This might be the one that I was just thinking of where you might need 12 people to do this.
You look upon the statues. The statue in the middle has been broken.
Okay.
The statue to the south is still intact, and the statue to the north is still intact. You look upon the one with the book. On the plaque, it reads in plain common, the pathway to peace is paved with the bodies of the fallen. A belief abandoned, the scorned turned their blades to battle. Whispers from the looking glass. As you examine the statue to the south, it reads, the pathway to peace remains ever unpaved. A royal decree, promises given, oaths taken, lives lost. Long may he reign. The middle statue is broken. However, on the plaque that remains, you see it says the Statue of Peace.
Hey, Kill, you want to mend this?
Killian moves forward and attempts to mend the statue. The plaque itself remains mended for close to a few seconds before it begins to break. But long enough for you to read the plaque that reads, the pathway to peace is laid by kind hearts and caring souls. The unbreakable blade must ever be raised for the greater good. And then it crumbles once more to dust.
We get all of those in the chat.
Well, these sound like a nice little story, but...
There's like little... I want Jojo to look around for little secret paths again. There's like, I noticed that there's little gaps here that look similar to the other ones. Are these hidden paths or?
As you examine the gaps, you look to the north, you look to the south, you see both of the gaps, and actively, given enough time, you open them both. You see to the north, yet another torch bloom, and to the south, a treasure chest. Astute eye.
Take those.
What's in the treasure chest?
Did Paka take the torch bloom, the other one?
I'm not
Yeah,
sure
well-
who has that. I don't think Baka had it.
I think we'll just put both on Paka.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Cool. I just wanted to, because I know that Matilda was like, "Ooh, science," and I was like, "I don't think I put that in my character sheet." 'cause
Yeah.
I think
I'm
I
just giving
rolled it.
Paka 2 torches.
That's fine.
So-
Could I do a trap check on that chest?
You may go ahead and roll perception.
Or Killian can.
I don't think that having proficiency in thieves tools
No,
actually
it
gives
doesn't
you
add
any
anything.
bonus to
Oh,
checking
okay.
for
It's
traps.
just whoever's
I'll
better
pop
at
out. I'll pop out Gambit and we'll check it together.
Typically, Thieves' Tools does apply in situations in which a trap is particularly tricky, because someone who's proficient in knowing how to unlock them would know the ins and outs of the crazier
okay,
ones,
cool.
but these are quite mundane.
Yeah. And also, Killian's perception is not the best. I think.
Yeah, I got a 19.
A 19, you perceive the chest. Once again, it seems like some kind of like a hidden stash. You don't notice any particular traps on it.
Okay. Is it still a Lodemlian? cache or is it Enthian?
Looking at this,
Or maybe
it
the gold
is-
people.
It is a Lodumnian cache.
Okay, cool. I open it.
What side is the Lodumnian? That's on this side, right? Okay. Yeah. So, from what I see from the three like riddles that we're hearing, one of them is Lodunian, one of them is the other guys,
Mm-hmm.
and then we don't know who the middle one is. So, is this one that's here? It makes sense that this is that group of people because it's. I would assume that those people are on that door.
Let me pause you for just 1 second there. So, Jojo, you were at the southern chest.
Uh-huh.
You check it for traps. You pop it open.
What do we get? What do we get? What do we get?
Your unsuspecting arm is immediately ensnared in this liquid that begins to seep around you. You see that
Good.
a fleshy tongue wraps out around, and then the entire case slams down on your hand and begins to pull you in. You are restrained, and you take 12 points of piercing damage as this
Okay.
mimic takes its true form. Everybody roll initiative.
Like a rare mimic, finally. That's what you hear
Why are you so happy
in your
about
head, Vincent, because I love mimics so much. They're my thesis.
Like, I discovered a rare mimic. I must study it. Also, it's eating my arm.
Also, ow, fuck.
Shit. Ow.
Battle begins anew.
Paige, can I re-roll my initiative? I didn't
I'm
get
bloody
to roll
again.
it. It's
Yeah, here, let me I will kill this for everybody, and then you can all
I rolled mine.
I didn't get to roll mine. It just kind of auto-rolled it, I guess.
Damn, I'm bloody again.
At the end.
Oh.
I
It's
will.
fine.
I will bloody
Vincent and Killian are good.
in combat.
Yeah.
Reroll.
Most important.
Well, JoJo is the meat shield. She wouldn't be doing her job if she... I say that in the utmost respect.
Wow, I actually rolled good. Like,
Why did it roll...
Hey, you
Like-
rolled a natural 20 and then you rolled a natural 1.
I know. Why did
Oh.
it roll like 6 dice and then choose the 1? That's really weird.
What happened? Let me find it. Matilda rolled a d20.
It's not showing
It's
in
an
the
18.
chat log, but it physically rolled like 3 dice on the
Yeah.
screen and then...
I think that was probably just also the other NPCs and stuff. The dice are likely just being thrown down at the same time.
Weird.
Killian's is 19. Laidbeak is right after that. Everyone else is in proper order. Mo looks down, sees the chest, and goes, "Well, I know what to do." And takes aim and throws a fireball.
oh, I thought he was gonna leave.
Oh, he is. You see the flaming mote appear in his hand. He turns and poof, launches it forward. It impacts into the body, and he's like, "Shit, really?" It's like circling around you, Jojo, slamming into the body of the mimic. They take a little bit of damage. And he says, "Now all of you, fight!" As he moves behind both Killian and Vincent.
Vincent just
insane.
gives him a look and then looks back towards the stuff. Is this wall here? Like, did he travel all of this distance and then come back?
No, Mo was here.
We had to tear down that
so you
wall.
can see the mimic from there.
You can see the mimic. Over the course of time, you guys basically pried those walls apart.
Okay, so these walls just don't exist. Got it.
They are gone now. And Killian, you were up.
And Killian's just gonna get within 40 feet and shoot the stupid mimic. It's eating JoJo. Does a 21 hit?
A 21 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Gonna put this mimic down.
7 magical piercing damage. Boom.
Teamwork.
Does a 9 hit?
9 does not hit.
Oh, ouch.
The mimic moves. It just closes the lid and it boom, bounces off the metallic banding.
Bladebeak. Bladebeak's gonna run in and buzzsaw it.
Okay. Bladebeak leans back, brings the hand down, or brings the beak down, and as it does so, it just kind of carves against the iron on the side of the chest. No damage.
Holy.
Does it feel like it just like she didn't do a good job hitting it, or it seemed like it was completely immune to it?
Hmm. Bladebeak stumbled a little bit.
Okay.
Grass is soft, you know how it be.
Okay. Bladebeak's
Matilda.
gonna take a step back.
Up, yeah?
Yeah.
The Mimic will take an attack of opportunity.
Well, it's got.
Actually, I don't think the Mimic gives a single fuck about this metal chunk of bird.
that
Matilda,
doesn't
you're
look
up.
like food.
It's all right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I run up, and then eaty beady.
So, from your current position, it does have a little bit of improved AC, but that does not matter.
Yeah, I ignore half cover, bitch.
Just feels slightly insulted.
Mo's like, I don't provide any cover, so I am not insulted.
The 17 hit.
17 hits, roll damage.
Eat shit, box.
12 points of damage. Slams into the side of the Mimic, and it recoils from this fierce hit.
Let go of her, you stupid box. And then second
No.
itty beady. Whoa.
Oh, it talked. Oh, that's so fascinating. I thought the rare ones were dumber.
Are you wanting it alive or
Ow.
dead?
Doesn't respond.
I asked JoJo.
Jojo's also deafened, so.
Oh shit. No!
Oh, roll a d20.
Nah!
You badly missed the Mimic. Favorable.
Okay.
There really was only one alternate path for that blast, so that's a good not miss. So as you fire off your 2 Eldritch Blasts, anything with the rest of your turn?
No. I'm annoyed, but no.
The Mimic is going, you see the legs reach over to the side and begin to climb itself up the trellis, pulling you with it. But it is
Ow.
going to chomp down again with advantage in this instance.
Does Paka think this guy's friends too?
No, Paka's like, kill it!
Okay.
I've seen this before. They call it an arm war. And he begins to climb. Jojo, you are brought up, and you're basically now hanging from your open wound as the creature chomps down on you. It does manage to hurt quite a bit.
Okay.
This is- roll
It's
this.
a jaw of drawers.
You take 12 points of... Oh, I'm sorry, here. You take 5 points of piercing damage. 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 points of piercing damage and 4 points of acid.
Okay. 9, 4, 13.
My math was wrong, actually. You take 1 point of piercing damage off of that.
Well. Tight.
Tight. The Mimic is beginning to climb up. You see that the trellis once again begins to grow with you, Jojo. As it tries to climb over, it just continues to go up and up and up. Paka's turn. Paka
Hey,
goes, yes,
I have a quick mechanical question for you.
I'm cool with that.
If someone was grappling and then they got knocked prone, would they still be grappling, or does that require them to have like that stance?
Oh, they'd still be grappling.
Okay.
Prone doesn't end grapple.
Well, like if it's more of a command to tell them to like grovel, I guess. But that's curious.
I don't, yeah, like any ongoing effect wouldn't end with the command of, you could say drop it or drop, but grovel wouldn't be both. However, oh, it's also up in the air. Here's the situation in which that would happen. If one person's on the other side of a cliff and then one isn't, and you tell them to like, you know, just grovel, and then they end up falling outside of range of the person they were grappling, I would throw another contest to see whether or not you can keep holding or if the person goes with them. But that would be one instance in which that could work. The Mimic, Paka, throws a dagger, bounces off the lid of the Mimic, and then boom, lands in the mouth of the Mimic, and they take damage. Paka's like, ha ha, I never miss. The Mimic takes 2 points of piercing damage and 4 points of poison. Con save. The Mimic is not poisoned, seemingly unaffected. You actually see one side of the mouth begins to just chew and digest the dagger. Paka's like, I was gonna collect that. Jojo, you're up.
So Jojo is canonically an expert for mimics, right? Do I get-
Mimicologist?
Yeah, remember I rolled like a natural 20 for thinking about mimics
I
like
do.
previously. Yeah. Do I get any like insight into like some weaknesses and strengths.
Here's what I would like to say. You can add Mimicologist as a
Hell yeah.
character sheet trait, and you can bring that up to a +2. You seem really fucking hype about mimics, so I'm down for this very specific trait you have.
Awesome.
So you may roll now. You're attempting to discern the weakness of this creature. You
Do I
know
have to
them
do it
to
as an
be
action?
monstrosities, so I would say go ahead and roll. It would be an action to try and discern any feature of the character sheet.
Okay, well then I'll just study it when it's dead. And instead I'm going to the hand that is currently like inside of the mimic, just gonna like out of the Ashfall shoots shocking grass like straight into it.
Ooh.
Oh,
The
natural 20,
creature also has metal as a facet of its body,
Yes.
so beautiful.
which I think is why I had advantage. So I will roll that critical hit. Boom, boom. 26 points of shocking damage.
Goodness, 26.
Damn, son.
Here's what I'm gonna say. The mimic is on its last legs from this massive shock and just lets you go.
Oh, nice.
You fall 10 feet.
I take damage.
You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage, and
Okay.
and as you have fallen, the mimic is now desperate to flee, as you guys can actively see.
That was my action. Bonus action would be to rage, which I don't want to do right now. So I'm just gonna instead back up to Paka, and that will be my turn.
Vincent, you are up.
Okay. Vincent takes a couple steps forward and walks in front of Killian. He's still connected to Jojo. Do you want to keep it? What do you want?
We can kill it.
Hmm.
I can study it when it's dead. For 2 seconds until it turns to ash.
Well, I can hold it down for 10 minutes for you. And Vincent will look towards the creature and kind of like squint his eyes. And in the back of its mind, it'll just hear like the words, give up. And he'll unsettle it. Because it can understand him, right?
Here's the thing. You say that, rather than casting a spell or even continuing with what you're planning on doing, just roll persuasion. 25 persuasion. You can see it immediately stops its assault of its climb upwards and just stops. The entire body shifts from this chest, this wooden chest, and begins to just turn into like a trellis, but without the natural leaves, and then just slowly begins to descend. Do you allow this to happen, or are you just going to kill it?
Vincent will. Do you have anything on you? Was there anything inside of the chest that you mimicked? Give it to us.
One of the pieces of wood turns to flesh, and you see like a small tongue like pull out this little this small pouch, and then another hand comes out and shows a small pouch of gold that you can hear. It's literally just like clink, 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 clink. It shakes it around like,
Dropped it.
Drops both.
He'll turn towards Jojo. We're basically out of combat now, right? I can use another bonus action to connect with her.
Yes.
Okay. Here, go grab the loot. You leave us be.
Okay, yeah. So Jojo like goes and like grabs the loot and then also takes out her dream journal and like with like the bloody hand not using to write, and she's just like careful to not get any acid on my book, although it's enduring, so I think it'd be fine. And she's just like writing so many notes.
Vincent's gonna walk up next to the mimic. So, what have you seen in the last 24 hours?
You see a small sweat drop form as you all begin to encircle this creature. Its escape route seemingly infinite above it as it attempts to climb away and fails. The body around it begins to shift and distort until it turns into just a pile of flesh, teeth, bones, plaster, stone, just bits and chunks of various different things. And as a mouth appears, it begins to speak in your own voice back to you, Vincent. Oh, not too much, I dare say. And then as as the mimic begins
He
to
smirks.
pontificate with
a
you.
pleasant sound.
That
Oh
is
my
where we'll
God.
end today's session.
Amazing. They really remind me of the Khandra from Mistborn.
Those are two very cool words that I am entirely familiar with. Thank you all for coming. And until next time, at the Dragonleaf. Bye, everybody.
Ah,
Yeah.
Bye.
Mimicology.
mimicology.
And it's a niche study, but, it's respectable.
Bye.